Hello! Today I have the pleasure of reviewing a Nissan Juke. Normally something like a Nissan Juke wouldn't really interest me a great deal, but this one's a bit different according to that. NISMO RS. I don't currently know what NISMO stands for, but it's not going to take me long to find out. There, see? There you go. That is the wonder of the internet. I mean, without the internet you wouldn't have Project Nigel, and without Project Nigel you'd just be all sat around watching neighbours spooning with an Alsatian. Style wise, of course, it's just a Nissan Juke, but it does have lots of clues as to it being a bit more than a Nissan Juke, such as these skirts and the red pipey bits there, these rather dapper 18-inch wheels with the red brake calipers and the big discs behind. They look like they could be about 320 millimeters. Not that I'm going to get my tape measure out and find out. Discs and red calipers on the back as well, and more swoopy red bits. This kind of diffuser on the back and a great big bin of an exhaust. Red mirrors, of course, and then round the front is pretty much the same, besides just a couple of badges like that. It does have a massive gaping face though, look at it. It looks like it's fallen asleep with its mouth open. Obviously I've seen lots of Nissan Jukes around, but I've never really noticed just how big its eyeballs are. Huge, great big eyeballs, and then wearing its glasses on its forehead. Underneath the bonnet you'll find an engine and the headlamps that stick above the bonnet. You know, I mean, they do look funny with the bonnet closed, but they look even more amusing with the bonnet up. It's quite funny. Come on, agree with me. Anyway, this engine is a turbocharged engine. Turbo. That usually means a bit quicker than normal. Apparently it's got 210 horsepower. That might be quite a lot. Might make this car feel really frantic. I don't want to spend too long talking about what is essentially a Nissan engine. Climb inside. Even more clues to its potential get up and go. Quite sporty looking in here. These suede bucket seats look rather supportive and very comfortable indeed. I'm going to sit inside it to find out how comfortable it actually is. And the answer is very good, actually. Very nice. Yeah. I like seats like this. These are good. Inside, the dashboard all looks rather solid and purposeful. Nice little suede patch on the top of there. A nice display. Lots of buttons. Lots of beeps. Lots of lights. I should test some of these, but I think they'll all be feeling, well, it's quite purposeful. Sport button there. Eco button. And it tells you on eco. I like the fact that it lights up to tell you which one you're on. And normal. What is normal? Normal driving. Most driving's normal, isn't it? Mate, what kind of experience would you like in your car today? Oh, a normal one, please. It's not taking too long before I find a little flaw though. Look at this. That's wobbly. That shouldn't be wobbly like that. And then you lift that up to get to the heated seats. Ah, they work. Jolly good. Here's something I quite like. This black headlining. It's kind of a felt headlining. I mean, it makes it a bit dark in here, that's the only thing. Opening the boot, it doesn't look very big actually, until you realise that there's more stuff under there. There's more room. I think it's safe to say that black really suits it. It does make it look very menacing. So I'm going to take it for a drive to find out if it really is aggressive. Actually, before I go, I am going to mention that the keyless thing, you just sort of stick it wherever you like. It's not the first car to have that. Loads of them have it these days. I'm going to admit I don't like that. Having the key in the ignition gives you somewhere to put the key. You don't find yourself looking for it, which I just did then.
More selective since having time off, but
test drive time. I mentioned to one of my friends the other day that I was going to have a test drive at a Nissan Juke, and you know what he said? Oh yeah, a Nissan Juke. I thought that's bound to be one of those jokes that people have quite a lot, isn't it? Well, this one, hopefully, is a joke with poke. Oh, look at this old thing. so far I'm just driving it like any other car really, which is gently, carefully, with respect, and it feels very nice. It feels like a normal car. The exhaust is a bit loud, just kind of suggests that something exciting is about to happen, but will it actually happen, or is it just a big joke? Again, actually, it's one of these cars it's incredibly easy just to get in and drive. Everything's in the right place. The steering has just the right kind of weight to it. It's obviously got very big wheels, but they're not too crashy. I mean, the suspension feels a bit hard, but it's not too hard. Expecting the suspension to be as hard as a snake with a flick knife, but it's not. Still just driving nice and normally. Any second now I might just find out if anything happens when you put your foot down. And there we go. Whoa! It goes. It has a dump valve sound. That sounds good. I like that. How does it handle that? It's quite stiff, but it's a little bit quite. Drive it quite hard, I've been told. So go. I've got to say that does go a lot better than I was expecting. Having a turbocharged car does give you that kind of excitement, but it's just more. It's more than I was expecting. But anyway, it's not just all about power, is it? It's about the driving experience. There is quite a lot of torque stick. You can really feel it sort of scrabbling for grip when you're on a bit of a bend. Even, to be honest, on a straight, it just feels like it just wants to dart about everywhere. Which puts me in mind of the old 80s and 90s turbo cars that were all that power in a one go. Modern turbo cars usually have this linear power band that goes from one end of the rev range right the way to the other, and you don't get that kind of kick of excitement. This one's different, and I don't know whether that's just because it's crude or it's done deliberately, but whatever the case, I prefer it this way. I mean, what's the point in having a turbocharged car if it's not exciting? And you can't feel excited if you're bored. Back to a couple of sensible things then, I suppose. Might as well. The whole interior is nicely put together. There's no rattles or squeaks anywhere, which is always quite a nice change. Mind you, I shouldn't be that surprised. It's not like a really old car. If it was 15 years old and it was like that, then I should be surprised. Mine's a bit like that, actually. Yeah, mine doesn't squeak a great deal. I've got to say I'm actually delighted by this car because, you know, I've never driven one before and I wasn't really knowing what to expect. And maybe the usual Nissan Juke isn't really very interesting at all. Just a daft looking car. But this one is just, it's a bit bonkers really. I think that's probably the word for it. And I'm just really enjoying driving it. I could happily have a right good day in this thing. I'll probably go through lots and lots of fuel though, that's the only thing. But it's a pleasant surprise. I really didn't think I was going to like it. And I do. Third gear, where all the action happens. Second is over with a bit too quickly. And then you stick it into third. And you need to get it to third gear before you can get to 60 in it. So the gearing isn't geared up for like a motorbike. Might as well talk about the visibility around the car. The visibility's okay over the bonnet, and those big headlamps give you a better idea of where the corners of the car are. But the pillars are obviously quite big. The A pillar isn't massively intrusive, but the C pillar really is. That's huge, that thing. Huge C pillar. So these big door mirrors are actually very useful. You wouldn't want to reverse without them. I don't think you could reverse by looking over your shoulder. Well, I mean, you could do. I don't think you could reverse and not bang into things while looking over your shoulder. So you need the mirrors. As a driving car, if you forget about the power, it kind of feels a bit like most cars, which is easy to drive, easy to drive is probably the best way. It doesn't have any character as such with the way it drives, but it has lots of character in the speed it drives. But there's plenty of other quick cars about, of course. I just wasn't quite expecting this one to be like that. So that was most definitely quite a lot of fun. I don't normally finish my car reviews off by having a walk in the woods, but today's different. And that car was a bit different. And I got thinking afterwards that if it wasn't for that silly engine and the rather frantic handling, would I have liked it at all? And I think the answer is probably not, actually. I mean, it is a nice car, but then only in the same way that all cars are nice these days. Everything's put together properly, at least for the first 60,000 miles or so. I mean, really look at the styling. It's got as much taste as Gone Off Milk. Actually, Gone Off Milk's got quite a lot of taste, just the wrong kind. Really, the Nissan Juke is driven by ladies who don't notice they've got the glasses on upside down, and men who haven't realised they've got a moustache growing out of their elbow.